Hello guys, and welcome back to the Sovereignty Masterclass. Before I continue on today's video, I must state that this is a private and confidential educational presentation, an online video series between myself and the purchasers of this course. If there's anyone here that is an agent for any government, organisation or public institution or corporate body in their official capacity, then please stop the video and leave. This course is a strictly private and confidential tutorship. This is an educational course based on my first-hand knowledge and supporting evidences. If you do not agree with any of my terms to keep this strictly private and confidential, then please stop the video and leave. Okay, so in this video, we will be covering how to make your Seapass, join your passport, talk about bonds and your Strawman account, as well as conclude all of the teachings from the previous videos. By now, you should be able to see the power of the solutions on offer here for you in order to apply them in your life. This system only exists on paper, and once you have become competent with all that has been taught in this course, you will really start feeling like a responsible sovereign who has all the power because you have all the knowledge to keep the world of fiction from ever becoming joined to you. The pen is definitely mightier than the sword. As David Miller said, learn to eat and sleep in the world of fiction and learn to eat and sleep in the world of fact. Both of these worlds we can use for our benefit, but we must get to a level where we know off the back of our hands our rights in standing in this world. As they say, learn to talk the talk, but also learn to walk the walk. Applying all that is taught in this course will gift you with wisdom through experience and help reinforce your new sovereign status and freedom. Do not fear the world of fiction. Remember, their only advantage is our ignorance. We have all the power to stop and correct them, and that is our duty if we are to maintain our standing as sovereigns. Always remember to stay in honour no matter what you do in your life. Seeking and living the truth and facts is our remedy. We have all the tools necessary now to use for our advantage to no matter what the world of fiction chucks at us. Remember, there is only one law that applies to us living folk. Do not infringe on the life, rights, liberty and property of another living soul, which is otherwise do no harm, which is under the natural law and common law. Everything else is corporate fiction in the world of commerce. There is no injured party, no claimant in their private capacity bringing forth a claim, no valid contract, which includes 2 signatures in private living capacity, lawful terms and conditions, full disclosure and equal consideration, and there's no evidence of their loss, then we have nothing lawful to owe or perform on for these fictitious adhesion contract opportunists. I just want to say well done on making it this far. I hope you really do study all the material so it becomes second nature to you, so you can start changing the system and sharing your first-hand knowledge with others who are seeking a lawful way out of the matrix. Remember the principles of being your own authority, author, judge, doctor, constable, president, banker and priest, and you will have finally attained freedom without ever having to rely on the so-called experts who are just waiting to fleece and mislead the ignorant. That is very, very salient, guys, that last sentence. Bring everything in-house. In order to be sovereign, you must become your own experts in every field, which this course otherwise gives you the majority of how to handle, which all exists on paper. And that's going to be the theme that we're going to bed in for this video, the final video, to tie it all off and to set you on your way to truly becoming sovereign and living a free life, being able to rebut all these ridiculous claims in the corporate world, so that it all exists on paper. And I'm going to tell you a little story that I experienced, which just gives 100% proof of that statement. Hello guys, and welcome back. Thought I'd just do a brief update as to a few of the cases outlined during the course that I've been involved with, and also wanted to offer some space and time to really reflect on what it is you've learnt, what is now expected of you, what you can expect from yourself going forward with this newfound knowledge and wisdom and empowerment that you can carry in your life now in order to stop and correct this system. Because it's so very important, because I've been through this whole process of metamorphosis, as it were, going from a state of fear and unknown and ignorance to complete knowledge and empowerment, and coming back into terms of my own power and how to actually exercise that power intelligently and honorably through bits of paper and even in person. And that's what's so very important, because these people in power know all the secrets to the subconscious mind and psychology, and they otherwise work with hypnotists. And this is why people in marketing, they know, people in marketing are very, very, very highly skilled in psychology and the rules and the mechanisms governing the subconscious worlds, which forms 90% of our lives, which a lot of us don't even realize. And so this is otherwise what they've seeded for generations upon generations, for centuries into us, which we do become a product of, is this fear of us fearing the controllers in order for them to maintain their positions of power. And so this is just as much a course, like I've said before, in dispelling and deprogramming in order to uproot the weeds, as it were, in your subconscious mind, recognize that which is not serving you and is only there for their benefits, in order for you to act out of fear and comply with the system, to now planting the seeds of knowledge, which we've gone through in this course with Dave Wynne Miller and all these wonderful techniques we've learned, 4 corner rules, etc., to bring about this empowerment and this knowledge now of recognizing their fraud, and now having the intelligence and the dignity to go about truthfully and factually in our lives, not wanting to be joined to their world of fiction, because it is all engineered out of demonic, satanic, ritualistic, fear-mongering, control, hungry, power-grabbing mechanisms. And it is akin to dark magic. If you actually study the occult worlds of psychology, this is what they specialize in. And like I said, referring back to the first video, you can see the Illuminati pyramid there. These people are masters in mind control. And so this is revolutionary for mankind in order to step into their own power without the need to protest. You can actually have all the power in a pen to put on paper within the system, which is recognized. And they have to honor that, because there is a universal law, and that is of free will. So they cannot force you to do anything without your consent. And so that's something really worth reflecting on off the back of this course. If you go back, obviously watch it 2 or 3 or 4 times over until it is embedded, you become unconsciously competent with this stuff, and you can just reel it off the back of your hands, and it becomes you. It then becomes you. Every fibre of your being, you walk and talk like a sovereign being who knows their rights, knows exactly the game that they've set up to be played, and you can dispel them at every turn, acting honourably and respectfully and responsibly, taking back everything into your own hands, into your own mind, taking back your own mind and dispelling all the fear. So that's very, very important. That's worth meditating on and really taken on board. And this is going to be a point that I have to re-emphasize, because I had to do it myself and coming through this, because I kept coming back and falling back into the grooves that were entrained in my mindset and thought processes of fearing the system. Oh, this doesn't work, or what if this doesn't work? And as soon as you get the letters through the post or the bailiffs turn up at your door, this automatic response, which has been engineered for a generation upon generation, to us to fall into fear, which then makes us lose our logic and reason and intelligence. And that's when we start disputing and acting dishonourable, and that's where they trap us and pick us apart. And so this is why it's so very important to remember, you have all the power now. It is up to you. That blank bit of paper, that A4 bit of paper, the 4 corner rule, you can now do whatever you please with it, given the tools you've now learnt. You can enforce whatever you like, your terms and conditions, how you would like to live your life. And if you get more of you together, like 3 people, you can form a trust. And witnesses are so bloody key in today's world in order to push forth whatever it is you wish to enforce within the system, to be recognised as a valid contract of your terms and conditions, your agreement, your constitution of how you want to live your life, rather than being dictated to from these agencies that for them telling you how to live. Well, no, you can write back. You have every right to scrabble over their letters, like I've done and we've done through this course, and write back to them saying your terms and conditions, counterclaims, conditional acceptance. And so this is very, very important that you really comprehend this and reflect on this, because you now have all the power and you can enforce this. You can even form your own councils if you have 13 people. You can even form your own governments now if you have the ability to bring around 500 people who all share a common goal and mindset in making this place a much better world to live in. But each and every one of us who come into this power, like I said, we can act as our own authority. And so, like flogging a dead horse, this is something you're going to have to constantly remind yourself until you become unconsciously competent, because I've gone through it and I know what it's like. I slip back into the groove of fear at times, but then I reminded myself what I've learned, and now I can use this to my benefit and apply this and become my own power. It is a big responsibility, but once you step into that and you realize it and you become it, it is so empowering and liberating that the world of fiction will not ever be able to fool you again, even with their discourse, propaganda, and all their tricks and traps, trying to lull you into this fear state of being, again, this vibration, which is, it serves nobody but them. And so you completely break all spells that were those put onto you, hexed onto you through the media, which otherwise the Greek goddess of illusion, if you look into the occult history and etymology of these words. So with that being said, I really do emphasize, and I'll mention it again at the end, go away, reflect, think about how you can apply all these things now in your life. You have the tools, like I said, of now how to, the old analogy of teaching a man how to fish. You give the man the rods, the tackle box, all the things required and the skills and the knots to go off and fish for the rest of his life so he can feed him and his family. This course is exactly the same. It's designed exactly the same way to provide you now with all the tools, the tackle box, and everything that's necessary in order for you to then go forward in the rest of your life and formulate your own agreements and stop and correct this fraudulent system and any fraudulent claim made against you, and even create your own registration processes through whatever you wish, discharging your mortgage, discharging personal loans, forming councils, forming new trusts, getting rid of your solicitors. You can become your own solicitor. You can solicit your own agreements with your other fellow sovereigns and beings in business or in life. And this will be recognized as long as it's a coming together of people who all agree with the terms, conditions, and everything that is otherwise constitutes and formulates a lawful contract, which is what we've gone through. The contracts we are fed today are just adhesion, one-way dictatorships. The adhesion contracts, they're only unilateral agreements. They're not valid contracts in law. And this is how they get away with that madness. Okay, so with that being said, let's just dive into a few of the case updates. And then again, we'll go back and just conclude the whole course and congratulate you guys basically in kind of birthing your new sovereign life, as it were. So just